Deep beneath the ground, something is waiting. For years, they remain hidden in complete darkness. They grow, they survive, and they wait for a moment that comes only once in a lifetime. Then, without warning, millions of creatures suddenly rise from the earth at the same time. They cover trees, fill the air with a deafening sound, and transform entire forests in a matter of days. But the strangest part is not their sudden appearance. It is the secret strategy that allows them to disappear for years and return when nature decides the time is right. This is the hidden world of cicadas, nature's 17-year mystery. Welcome to Nature Declassified, a place where we uncover the hidden systems, survival strategies, and extraordinary secrets behind the natural world. Cicadas are not ordinary insects. They are survivors built around one of nature's most mysterious life cycles, spending years hidden beneath the soil before emerging in a spectacular transformation. In this documentary, we uncover the secret world of cicadas and the evolutionary strategy that keeps them alive for millions of years. For most of their lives, cicadas exist in a world humans rarely see, a world hidden beneath our feet. While forests grow above them, seasons change, and generations of animals come and go. These insects remain buried underground, silently preparing for a moment that may be years away. The cicada's life begins when a female places her eggs into small branches of trees. After hatching, the young cicada nymphs drop to the ground and disappear beneath the soil. This is where the real story begins. Unlike most insects that live above the surface, cicada nymphs spend the majority of their lives underground. Some species remain hidden for a few years, but the most famous species, known as periodical cicadas, can remain buried for 13 or even 17 years. 17 years in complete darkness. During this time, they are not sleeping. They are growing, slowly changing, and surviving in an environment completely different from the world above. Deep underground, cicada nymphs attach themselves to tree roots. Using specialized mouthparts, they feed on a liquid called xylem sap. This nutrient-rich fluid moves through trees, carrying water and minerals from the roots to the branches. For a cicada nymph, this slow supply of nutrients is enough to support an incredibly long development period. But living underground for so many years comes with challenges. The soil is a harsh environment. There is limited movement, limited food, and countless predators searching for vulnerable prey. Yet cicadas have evolved a strategy that makes them almost impossible to eliminate. They avoid the surface completely. They remain hidden. They wait. The underground world of a cicada is a maze of tunnels created as the nymph moves through the soil. These tunnels allow movement between different depths and help the insect find suitable routes for feeding. As years pass, the nymph grows larger. Its body changes. Its wings begin developing beneath protective structures, but it does not emerge early. The cicada follows a biological clock built into its genetics. Something tells it when the time is right. Scientists believe cicadas use a combination of internal timing mechanisms and environmental signals, such as temperature changes in the soil, to determine when they should begin their journey upward. And when that moment finally arrives, an event that has been hidden for years begins. Thousands, millions, sometimes billions of cicadas prepare to leave the underground world at almost the same time. But this timing is not random. It is one of nature's greatest survival strategies. Because above the ground waits a dangerous world. Birds, mammals, reptiles, and countless predators that would happily feed on these insects. A single cicada emerging alone would have little chance, but millions appearing together create something completely different. A survival strategy called predator saturation. There are simply too many cicadas for predators to consume. Some survive, some reproduce, and the next generation begins another hidden journey beneath the soil. This incredible timing is what makes cicadas different from almost every other insect. They do not survive by fighting. They survive by patience. They disappear for years, then return all at once. But why would evolution create a creature that spends almost its entire life hidden underground, only to live for a short time above the surface? The answer lies in one of nature's strangest strategies, a strategy that turns waiting into a weapon. And when the cicadas finally emerge, the world above ground changes completely. After years hidden beneath the soil, the waiting finally ends. Deep underground, millions of cicadas begin sensing that the perfect moment has arrived. The soil temperature rises, the seasons have changed, and a signal built into their biology tells them it is time to return to the surface. For most of their lives, these insects have existed in darkness. But now, they begin one of the most dramatic transformations in the natural world. During the night, cicada nymphs slowly climb upward through the soil. They emerge from underground tunnels and search for vertical surfaces, tree trunks, plants, rocks, anything strong enough to support the next stage of their life. At this moment, they look completely different from the insects that will soon fill the sky. Their bodies are soft, their movements are slow, and they are extremely vulnerable. But this weakness is temporary, because something incredible is about to happen. The cicada begins its final transformation, a process called molting. The old outer shell splits open, and slowly, a new adult cicada pulls itself free. Its wings expand, its body hardens, its colors become darker and more defined. An insect that spent years underground has finally entered the world above. This transformation is one of nature's most remarkable examples of patience. A creature can spend more than a decade preparing for only a few weeks of life. But the cicada does not emerge alone. It emerges with millions of others. Entire forests can suddenly become covered with cicadas. Tree trunks appear to move. The air becomes filled with their calls. The landscape changes almost overnight. To humans, it can look like an invasion. But this is not an attack. It is a carefully timed survival event. The reason behind this massive emergence is simple: numbers. When millions of cicadas appear together, predators cannot possibly eat them all. Birds, mammals, and other animals suddenly have an unlimited food supply. But even the largest predators have limits. The cicadas overwhelm the ecosystem with their numbers. This strategy allows enough individuals to survive and continue the next generation. It is a survival method that seems almost impossible, but it has worked for millions of years. During these short weeks above ground, cicadas have one main mission: reproduction. Adult cicadas do not spend their brief surface life searching for food like many insects. Instead, they focus on finding mates and continuing the cycle. Male cicadas create one of the loudest sounds produced by any insect. Their calls can reach incredible volumes. Using specialized organs called tymbals, males rapidly vibrate structures on their bodies to create powerful sounds. These calls travel through forests, attracting females and allowing cicadas to find each other across large areas. A single male may sound impressive, but millions calling together create a completely different experience. The forest becomes a living orchestra, a sound produced by countless insects following the same ancient instinct. But this massive gathering also attracts attention. Predators arrive, birds feed, small animals search the ground. The forest becomes a battlefield of survival. Yet the cicadas continue, because this moment has been planned for years. Their entire existence has been leading to these few weeks. And after mating and laying eggs, the adult cicadas begin to disappear. Their short time above ground comes to an end, but their story does not. A new generation begins. Young nymphs fall to the ground, they enter the soil, and the cycle starts again. Another generation begins a journey that may last more than a decade. But the question remains: why exactly 13 years? Why 17 years? Why such strange numbers? The answer reveals one of the most fascinating survival strategies ever created by evolution. For most creatures, survival means moving quickly, finding food, escaping predators, reproducing as soon as possible. But cicadas chose a completely different path. They chose patience, a strategy built around waiting. And the most mysterious part is not that they disappear underground. It is the exact timing of their return. 13 years, 17 years. These numbers are not random. They are part of one of nature's most unusual survival strategies. Scientists believe that periodical cicadas evolved these long underground cycles as a way to avoid their predators. Many animals that feed on cicadas have shorter life cycles. Bird populations change, insect predators appear and disappear, environmental conditions shift, but cicadas follow a schedule that is extremely difficult for predators to predict. A predator may depend on a food source appearing every few years, but a cicada emerging after 17 years creates a problem. The timing is too rare, too unpredictable. And when millions finally appear, predators cannot adapt quickly enough. This is known as predator avoidance through prime number cycles. The strange numbers used by cicadas are especially interesting. 13 and 17 are prime numbers. They cannot be easily divided into smaller repeating cycles. This means cicadas are less likely to match the life cycles of predators. For example, if a predator emerges every 2 or 3 years looking for cicadas, a 17-year cycle creates very few opportunities for synchronization. The cicadas appear when the timing gives them the greatest advantage, but this strategy required millions of years of evolution. A small mistake could be devastating. Emerging too early could mean facing too many predators. Emerging too late could mean missing the opportunity to reproduce. The entire population must follow the same internal clock. This raises one of the biggest mysteries about cicadas. How do millions of individuals know when to emerge at the same time? The answer appears to be a combination of biology and environmental signals. Deep underground, cicada nymphs monitor changes around them. They respond to seasonal temperature patterns. They detect changes in the trees they feed from. And over many years, their bodies keep track of time through internal biological mechanisms. It is almost like having a natural calendar hidden inside their DNA. But the cicada's survival strategy is not only about avoiding predators. Their long underground life also protects them from many environmental dangers. Above ground, insects face constant threats: extreme weather, food competition, predators, human activity. But underground, cicadas experience a much more stable environment. The soil provides protection, tree roots provide a constant food source, and darkness hides them from many enemies. The cicada does not try to dominate the world above. It avoids the competition completely. It survives by staying hidden. This is a completely different approach to evolution. Instead of becoming faster, stronger, or more aggressive, the cicada became a master of timing. Its greatest weapon is not a claw, not venom, not speed. It is patience. And this strategy has allowed cicadas to survive for millions of years, long before modern humans existed, long before many animals we see today evolved. Cicadas were already following their ancient rhythm beneath the ground. But their story reveals something even more surprising. These insects are not just survivors. They are also powerful forces that influence entire ecosystems. When millions emerge, they do not only feed predators. They change forests. They affect nutrients. They become part of a much larger natural system. The cicada's return is not just an insect event. It is a biological transformation. A reminder that even the smallest creatures can have an enormous impact on the planet. For years, cicadas remain almost invisible. They live beneath the soil. They feed from tree roots. They wait in silence. But when they finally emerge, their impact reaches far beyond their own survival. Because cicadas are not just insects completing a life cycle. They are important parts of the ecosystems they inhabit. When millions of cicadas rise from the ground, they create one of nature's largest temporary events, and this event changes the environment around them. The first major impact is the food chain. For a short period of time, cicadas become one of the most abundant food sources available. Birds, mammals, reptiles, and other predators take advantage of this sudden explosion of life. Animals that normally struggle to find enough food suddenly have more than they can consume. This creates a natural feeding opportunity throughout the ecosystem. But the story does not end there, because even after cicadas disappear, their influence remains. When adult cicadas die after reproduction, their bodies return nutrients back to the environment. The same insects that spent years underground become a source of energy for forests above. Their remains provide important nutrients that can help plants and trees grow. A creature that spent most of its life hidden beneath the earth eventually becomes part of the entire ecosystem. This is one of nature's most fascinating cycles, a cycle of transformation, from soil to tree roots to the forest and back into the earth. But cicadas also influence the soil itself. During their underground years, millions of nymphs move through the ground. Their tunnels create small pathways that can change soil structure. These underground movements can affect how water and air travel through the soil. In a way, cicadas are silent engineers working beneath the surface. They reshape their environment without ever being seen. Their existence connects two different worlds, the hidden world underground and the visible world above. For years, they prepare beneath our feet. Then, for a brief moment, they transform the entire landscape. This is why cicadas are so unique. They are not designed for constant activity. They are designed for timing. Their entire existence follows a rhythm that humans are only beginning to understand. But perhaps the most incredible part of the cicada story is what it teaches us about evolution. Nature does not always reward speed. It does not always reward strength. Sometimes survival belongs to those that know when to wait. The cicada survived millions of years not because it became the strongest insect, but because it developed a strategy unlike anything else. Disappear, wait, return together, and continue the cycle. A creature that spends almost its entire life hidden underground can still create one of the loudest and most unforgettable events in nature. The cicada reminds us that some of Earth's greatest mysteries are happening in places we rarely look, below the surface, inside the soil, hidden in silence, because the natural world is full of systems far more complex than they appear. And the next time you hear the sound of cicadas filling the summer air, remember what you are actually hearing. Not just an insect, but the sound of a survival strategy that has been perfected for millions of years. This is the hidden world of cicadas, nature's 17-year secret.